The time has come. Barovia is inviting its champions in. And so I must awake you. The journey will be long and tiresome. I am sorry you must undertake it, and not I. For age is a luxury so few may experience in this realm. And although my time may be running thin, trust that I am now, and always will be, watching you grow. And should you fall, although it may be the end for us, I hope you do not dismay. For what greater purpose is there in life than to fight for life itself? Good luck, my sprout. Good luck to you all.
Hello everyone, welcome to this very special first episode of our new campaign here on Swindler's Den. This is Curse of Strahd, which is super cool. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Equa. I play Jeb and Ivan on Fandalva respectively, and I was the DM of Meyore, so if you like me, that's there. And yeah, that's... I don't have anything else to say about me. So I have players here with me. I'm so fucking good at intros, you guys.
You want to start
players
over?
Here with me. Nope. And they're all cool. So let's go ahead and introduce the players, starting with the handsome one.
Oh, hey
Okay,
everybody.
well,
Go ahead.
Go
That's-
ahead, Grizz.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was gonna say I don't know, Meyore. I don't know. How's it going, everybody? It's Grizz here, and I do the stuff on the YouTube. You can find me at Grizlocke on YouTube. Let's have some fun tonight.
Next up is the funny one.
Hey everybody,
Wow,
how's it going? It's Grizlocke.
Someone jump in, please. Save me.
All right, go ahead, Baka.
Yeah, Baka, go ahead.
Oh well, I don't fit under that title, but hello, I'm BakaZombie. If you want to see more of me, just follow my Twitter at ZombieBaka, or listen to some other campaigns on this channel. I'm in quite a few of them, and I'm in some other campaigns. You can find those on my Twitter at ZombieBaka. Let's have some fun tonight. Is that our catchphrase for this?
So what you guys? Fuck.
Next up is... Who we got left? Next up is the sexy one.
Oh, well, okay. I'll
Yeah,
take
there
that
we go.
one. I mean, I'm Meyore, and this is only my second game with you guys that I'm here. I was Fevrin in Dragon Vice Peak, and I'm very excited to be in this one, so I'm ready to have some fun.
He's so much better at introing than all of you guys, I want you to know. And last but not least, we have the stupid one, Tommy.
I love how one person literally has idiot in their name, but I'm the stupid one. Hi, I'm Lortomas. Yeah, I'm here to die in session 1, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, we will see about that. So, I feel like I should point out before we begin, just for anyone who is unaware of how Curse of Strahd works, this is not your average family-friendly D&D campaign. I think I already swore in the intro, so they probably figured that out already. There will be a lot of swearing in this. There will be visceral descriptions of gore and horror, and vivid descriptions of scary shit. So if that's not your cup of tea, I recommend going and checking out Doip or Lost Mine, or not Rhyme, because Rhyme's kind of sad. People die a lot in Rhyme, and he's starved and he's cold, but there are happier campaigns out there. But I'm sure those of you who clicked on this campaign know what you're in for, and for that I say, yay, welcome. I don't think... Do we have any announcements, Grizz?
No. Drop a like, leave a comment down below. It'd really help us get this video out to as many people as possible. and that would help us a lot.
Yeah, it'll make me more confident when I do intros in future. Yes, I did a fucking 2-year campaign and I never managed to get this part down. So, is everyone ready to begin?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, show.
No, I need
Okay.
another half an hour, please.
No. I gotta go to bed, Baka.
All right. So, our journey today begins with a humble bard who is currently sitting across a table with remnants, mostly, of well-cooked meals, the sense of cooked meats and spices and steamed vegetables filling the air in this large stone dining chamber. Tommy, why don't you go ahead and describe what your character looks like?
Hey. So, I, Lortomas, will be playing a bard with a little red, I don't know what type of hat that is, what that's called. Little bard cap. I'm gonna call it a bard cap. Yeah, baggy beret. With a longer brown hair, slightly tan skin with teal eyes. He likes to wear fur coats with red and brown stitching all the way down it. He usually keeps his handy lute with him, as well as a flute that he keeps hanging from his waist.
So you are currently sitting across the table from your relatively new friend, the Duchess Lady Morwen. She, for those who are unaware, is a stoic and stern woman, sort of late or mid 40s ish appearance, with the face of someone who has aged beyond their years. Silvery grey hair that flows back down to the back if it were not tied into a bun on top of her head, and kind of crow's feet and vague wrinkles that show her experience in running the town of Daggerford. Her blue royalish attire would be prevalent if not for the stern breastplate that she carries at all times. And she is currently having a message whispered into her ear by one of her chamberlains here in the keep. As she stands up and they ferry away, she turns back to you and says, "So I have just gotten word that a few friends are coming into town. Normally they come in a little earlier in the day, but it's nothing to worry about. I'd actually be curious if you'd like to join me in talking to them. I think that they might have an opportunity that you'd be interested in."
Well, the night's still young, so I don't see a problem with that.
Great. And she sort of walks around the table to go and meet to the side of you as you get up and ferry you through the double doors that lead into the entryway of this chamber. As she goes through them, she says, "So, what do you know of the Vistani?"
What do I know of the Vistani?
Go ahead and roll a history check for me. First roll of the official campaign, not session zeros.
Well, first roll. It be what it is. That's a 9 on the die, plus 2 for history, so that would be an 11.
Okay, yeah. That's good enough for me. So you are aware of the Vistani's existence. They have settlements all across the Soul Coast, and probably beyond. Many of them, travel in large caravans with wagons, operating both businesses and homes out of them. Because they are, spread all across the Soul Coast. If you find a merchant of a Vistani, there's a decent chance that you'll find something that is rarer or unique in its value. There is a settlement in the city that you have traveled from, and in that place you've probably interacted with one or two. Most of them not most of them, the ones that you've met had settled down there and had been there for quite some time, probably generations. And, you know, they work hard. They're farmers, merchants, tailors, hunters, bards. They're your standard folk. The interesting thing that you noted in your talking with them was that you probably went up to a merchant or a farmer or someone and just, you know, struck up conversation as you tend to do. And you gathered word that one of the merchants there was selling unique items, and when you went to go and talk to them, you did note peculiarly one item that they would not part with, which was a simple wooden stake. And you remarked on its uniqueness of place, because wooden stakes, first of all, aren't particularly common. You know the inference there. Normally to deal with undead or vampires. And although they didn't divulge any information about why they had it, they really wouldn't part with it. That's what you know.
Met a couple in my travels. Actually, there's a few in if I recall. A couple of farmers, merchants, stuff like that.
Sure, big city. That doesn't surprise me. The people that I'm friends with here who come by every once in a while, they're not, you know what? I'll let them speak for themselves. I'm sure they can explain it better than I will. And she leads you through the long, cold stone hallways that are, you know, ever so faintly lit with these non-magical torch sconces, which is interesting to see in a noble's keep. You know, Lady Morwen doesn't really care for the lavish lifestyle that most royals in the Soul Coast lead here. She's much more.
As I have come to learn.
Yeah, exactly. And she leads you through. As you find your way to the front of the castle, into the main, like, thick oak double doors that mark the entryway, you walk outwards and you follow Morwen's lead through the gardens on the outside, with these, you know, faint rays of moonlight finding their way down to illuminate the rows of flowers and the topiaries that, you know, line the gardens and kind of guide you to your destination. You hear the faint chirping of insects, the occasional croak of a toad or a frog, before you begin to see, nestled into the gardens, kind of this warm orange glow emanating from a small campsite that is set up within the keep walls. Simple enough, with a large wagon tethered to two horses and behind the roaring flame, and in front of them you see three figures who are kind of loudly laughing and conversing. You approach and you see an older gentleman, kind of little hair, except for the white tufts that emanate from kind of his chin down into like this thin goatee and behind his ears that fall back. Wearing no armor, but a bright red vest over a simple shirt. To his side lie a taller, like broader man of curly brown hair and bright eyes, wearing simple leathers but with this nice, elegant engraving on it, and a slightly younger woman, if only by a few years, who is a little shorter and more slender in build. If the familial resemblance between the two of them wasn't obvious immediately, the fact that the woman kind of has the man crouched down in a headlock and is rubbing her knuckles off of his scalp as his like screams and yelps of protest are drowned out by the sound of the other two laughing wildly at his misfortune, that would indicate that there's a familial tie here. They're probably siblings. And as you and Morwen begin to come into the firelight, the older man kind of leaves the two wrestlers to his side and stands to greet you. You hear him say, "Lady Morwen, it is good to see your face so young and full of vigor." And you hear her retort, "Flattery will only get you so far, Stanimir. It's good to see you're all well. I can't help but notice that Damia's been practicing." "Yes, the techniques that you showed her have certainly come in handy. Ratka, however, thinks they were the worst thing that has happened to him in the past few years." And you kind of look over and you see that the pair are now rolling around on the floor, The woman's kind of holding the man's like hand and arm behind his back, and he's like kind of using the other one to tap wildly on the ground. I wanted to apologize for coming in at this late hour. I would not have disturbed you if I had known, but the sky can be hard to see where we come from, so time is easy to lose track of. Nonsense. Truth be told, I enjoy a late night drink and good company more than curling up alone nowadays. Oh, speaking of good company, I'd like to introduce you to a guest of mine. Stanimir, Malin, Stanimir.
I'll do a slight bow, like take my hat off, and kind of like just kind of bow and put it back on. Say, Malin Redkeep. And then I'll hold out my hand.
You. He goes and shakes it. My name is Stanimir. These are my children, Damia and Ratka. And you kind of see Ratka's now on his back, and kind of like his whole torso is arched, and he's like, "Help me, please."
Looks like you probably need to learn a few moves. I'm assuming that's your sister.
Yeah, the sister kind of looks up at you, and her eyes are kind of this bright brown color that kind of flicker in the firelight as well. And then she says, "Ha! I like this guy. He knows his stuff." And you hear Stanimir say, "Please, come sit down. Have a drink with us."
Enjoy a drink on a night like this.
And it is beautiful. And you look up and you see the clouds are barely there. You know, you can see the moon in full spherical shape, just glaring down at you. Stars in full view, twinkling. It's peaceful here. It's nice. And you know, you as a bard, you come from positions of livelihood and chatter and good spirits and good drinks. This is no different, although it has a smaller, more like welcoming, homely feel to it. These people are, you know, more than accommodating, if not kind of immersed in their own little wrestling match. Morgan kind of sits down next to you and kind of holds her hand out, and Stanimir kind of looks at her and turns around and pulls a bottle of wine out and just hands it to her. She pops the cork out and takes a couple long, heavy glugs before passing it back to you.
I'll take a couple of swigs off of it.
So, how goes your situation at home? And you kind of see his head go down a little bit, and the kids, even in their mid to late 20s, sort of stop wrestling each other and begin to present themselves more. Well, I am afraid that nothing much has changed. It's, the adventurers come and they never seem to make much of a dent. The last few wound up with the devil in his castle. It was a rough go for them, as my understanding goes, although that is purely speculation among our people. I'm sorry about that. Listen, I have someone new. He kind of looks you up and down. He might not believe it himself, but he's the hero type.
Oh, you flatter me, lady.
And what heroic adventures have you been on?
Well, let's just say I recently had a small tangle with a few bandits and a dragon.
He saved a couple kids from dying. I mean, you see, like, the two children are now, like, leaning forward over the fire and are kind of engrossed in you now. Is that true? Children and a dragon? And bandits? Oof. Seems like no easy task.
Well, I had help. The fair lady here, she definitely knows how to wield her weapons well.
Don't look at me, I didn't hit him a single time. Not once.
I just kind of like chuckle, awkwardly.
Yeah, you kind of see the old man's eyes begin to raise, his eyebrow begins to raise, and he leans forward at you. So, are you looking for work? Because our home is... We have a predicament that we try and ask adventurers for help with. You are not obligated to say yes, but if you'd like to hear our tale, I would be happy to share it.
Oh, what do I say to this? Well, as long as we keep getting some of that delicious wine you're sharing, be more than happy to listen to your story.
Ah, very good. If you wouldn't mind.
Also, pull out like a small piece of parchment and like a quill with a little ink thing. Just kind of like small, like something real small, just to write notes down on.
Yeah, he holds his hand out to take the wine back from you. Just for a moment.
Yeah, I'll give it back to him.
Yeah, he kind of pulls it up and takes a big sip and just holds it in there, and you kind of see his cheeks go in and out, and hands it back to you. Before holding up his hand to his mouth and spitting the wine straight into the fire, the campfire in the middle of it. Immediately, the flames turn from this bright, vivid orange to this vibrant, like almost neon green.
I'm looking at the bottle and looking at that, like, and in my head, I'm thinking, wow, I didn't realize this stuff was that stout.
Right. You see the flame begin to dance, kind of as he moves his hand around it. He's manipulating the fire in a way that you haven't quite seen before. Probably an arcane user, best you can tell, but he's very good at it, very subtle with the finger movements. And as he does so, looking into the fire, you see kind of this darker shape begin to appear in the core of the bonfire. He says, "We come from an ancient land, the land of kings. Our enemies forced us away. But time was not lost." And you see the shape in the middle begin to kind of coalesce and condense more into the form of kind of a man, and also another thing, kind of being the man being pulled away, and as he moves it, they slowly begin to turn to this guy being knocked away from his horse, a spear kind of piercing straight through the sternum, kind of underneath or in between some of the ribs. One night, a wounded soldier staggered into our camp and collapsed. We nursed his terrible injury and quenched his thirst with wine, much like you are drinking now. He survived. And when we asked him who he was, he wouldn't say. All he wanted was to return home. But we were deep in the land of his enemies. We took him in as one of our own and followed him back toward his homeland. His enemies hunted him. They say he was a prince. Yet we didn't give him up, even when their assassins fell upon us like wolves. You kind of see him move his hand around in a circular motion again, and deep within the bonfire, the dark figure picks himself up and begins standing with a sword drawn, and from underneath, many smaller shadowy shapes begin to emerge towards him. This man of royal blood fought to protect us as we protected him. We bore him safely to his home, and he thanked us. He said, "I owe you my life. Stay as long as you wish, and when you choose, you may leave. And know that you will always be safe and have a home here." The figure in the fire plunges the sword deep into the chest of one of these shapes, and as it does so, almost in a ripple effect, the ones to the side just dissipate into a cloud of smoke and embers, the fire beginning to turn back to its wild orange color. As they do so, you see the man Stanimir's face kind of sink lower and become more somber. A curse has befallen our noble prince. He has turned into a tyrant. We alone, our people, have the power to leave his domain. We've traveled far and wide to find heroes such as yourselves, to end our dread lord's curse and put his troubled soul to rest. The leader of our camp, Madame Eva, knows all. I ask this of you. Will you come with us to Barovia and speak with her?
Take a large gulp of this wine, slosh it in my mouth for a second, swallow it, and well, I don't have a home, so what's the worst thing that could happen? I go in there and try to help yours.
I must inform you of something. It would not be right of me to trick you. When you enter our realm, you may not leave until our Lord is perished. He guards the realm with a protective layer that only we may leave. If you come, you are committing to this.
How soon would you need an answer?
We will leave tomorrow morning.
Well, not to linger, leave you in suspense, but might I think on it on the night.
Of course, this is not a small undertaking, and this is your right. We will reside here within the keep walls, as the humble lady has offered us so many times. She kind of smiles and nods and holds up the bottle of wine and glugs it a couple times more. So if you choose to come with, then we would appreciate that deeply. But there is no pressure. We understand that people have their lives outside of our realm.
Let's see. Guess with that, I would. Kind of change the subject, but not in a bad way or anything. I'm just like, well, while I think on it, are there any other tales of your land? Barovia, was it? And you don't have to roleplay that. I'm just trying to.
Sure. No. Yeah.
Like speed up the night.
Yeah. I'll give you. Make me a persuasion check for me, and I'll give you some information that they reveal.
Oh, I'm rolling not so good. I do have a good persuasion though. 7 plus 7, 14.
14. Yeah. So you glean this information from them, and they are a little withholding of certain things. Should you inquire about their dreadlord, they kind of hold back on that. And any questions that you have about him, they simply reply with, "Should you choose to come, our leader, Madame Eva, she knows all." But you do glean from them that Morwen plays host to them whenever they come and visit outwards. Most of the time they visit just to trade wares, to exchange stories, and to have a good time. They are friends. And the Vistani, generally in Daggerford, are well liked. People seem to enjoy the company and the tales that they tell here. Saying that, whenever she finds prospective adventurers who she thinks would be of right morality, of heart, and ability, she offers them a chance to speak with them, and they offer them the quest. There is another thing that you glean from this. At a point, Stanimir kind of asks Morwen and says, "I trust that our mutual acquaintances in the other camp have not been bothering your guests too much." And she kind of says, "I mean, they come and go. Most of our people here know, you know, which of you are... I have the right heart behind your chest. So what if a couple of guys come in every now and then and try and play foul? Like, it's... People know the difference." And he kind of says, "Yes, but I cannot help but feel guilty. I mean, he gives a bad name to a lot of us." Do you wish to inquire about this?
I don't know. It seems like really personal to me.
Okay.
Like what they're talking about. So I probably wouldn't inquire about who they're talking about.
No worries. So, with that, if you have any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, your evening is filled with drink, with good banter, lively conversation, and good tales. You know, the two kids even come out and talk to you about your various adventures that you've been on, and you get the sense that they've been on a couple themselves, but are still kind of finding their feet in the adventuring world. They mostly travel from Daggerford to Barovia and back. And although there are, you know, a couple different, you know, beasts and animals that they've taken on in the woods, they're not too far into their experience at this point in time. Aside from that, you have a room in Lady Morwen's keep for the night, unless you choose to go back to the inn that you've been staying.
Nah, I wouldn't go back there. I would probably just go to my room and let's say up a few more hours. And I'd be kind of sitting on my bed, drinking from my flask.
Sure.
And at one point I would pull out an enveloped letter and just kind of hold it in my hands before like pushing it up to my lips and then putting it back in with my stuff and going to bed.
Sure. Absolutely, yeah. So you take your rest for the night. And it is, you know, it's peaceful. The keep in Daggerford is well furbished and welcoming, and you find a good spot up in front of your personal fireplace in your room that is cozy and warm. I'm choking and dying. In the morning, you are awoken to a knock at your door. You were up a little later, kind of talking to these people, and the knock comes in. You can respond if you wish.
Yes, just getting my stuff together.
The door kind of opens, and you see Morwen's head pop out. And you know, it would normally be a chamberlain, but she takes things much more into her own hands as a more, you know, physical, hands-on leader of Daggerford. She kind of goes,
"I changed my mind. I'm completely naked." No, I'm kidding.
"You bastard."
I'm kidding.
She goes, "So, how'd you sleep?"
Oh, well, their wine seems to really give you a good thing in the night.
Yeah.
A little groggy in the morning.
Purple Dragon Crush Red... I don't remember the name of it. It just tastes real good. That's all I remember. Do you need breakfast?
Yeah, I mean, I can eat.
Come on down.
It's better than eating these rations.
Oh, you're still using rations? You don't
Well,
have to do that
between the roads, between travels, I partake in them, but I can earn enough coin for a good meal.
Sure, I get it. And she kind of walks you down back into the dining hall. And as she goes, she says, I'm not trying to push it on you, but do you think any more about their proposition?
Well, I stayed up quite late last night, gave it some thought, and I've decided I'm going to go get Red Keep from the stable that you have here, and I'll meet up with him.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I could see it in you. I knew you had it. The hero gene.
There's a hero gene now.
Oh yeah. Not everyone has it, but I could tell with you. It's the way that you hold.
Maybe I'll write a song about myself. As I laugh at how pompous that sounds.
Listen, I've had bards come into Daggerforge for a good 20 years that I've been at its helm, and I gotta say, you would be surprised at the amount that write songs about themselves. Most of them are full of shit.
Oh, I'm well aware. I grew up in a traveling musical troupe, you would say.
So that's where you got the multiple talents from, eh? With the different instruments?
Yes, each one of these instruments I learned from a different member.
Cool. Well, I'm sure you'll find good use playing them where you're going. People there could, from what I understand, use a good cheering up. And she sits you down for breakfast in the dining table. The conversation goes on, and eventually it reaches a point where she says, so listen, if you still want to do this, if there's anything that you want to get out to any family or friends, I can see to it that that happens. I can tell them where you are.
He'll think about that for a moment, and he'll be like, it's probably best to let the sleeping dogs lie.
Okay. Well, listen, if you need anything else, let me know, and hopefully when you come out of there, we'll see you back around.
Are the kids around? Or are they like passed out because they stayed up way too late last night?
It is real early in the morning. Make a perception check to see if you hear them.
Oh, that's way better. Okay, so 16 plus perception plus 2, so 18.
Yeah, you don't hear talking or chatting, you don't see them anywhere. What you do hear is a faint, very faint conversation on the other side of the set of doors. You kind of hear the younger one say, come on, just a little higher, a little higher. And the other one go, I'm trying, you're kind of short right now. Before this kind of scraping of something. With an 18 perception, it almost sounds like metal on wood, but it's light metal that's being weighed down by something.
Guess I'll look in that direction.
You look over and you see that the door is slightly ajar, and the teenage girl is standing there with the young 6 or 7-year-old boy on her shoulders, and he's currently got a bucket of something and is trying to push it on top of the oak doors, which are slanted in an arch fashion, so he's having a rough time.
Kind of like quietly chuckle. And what I'll do is I will pull out... What do I have here? I will take out my flute. I'll take out my flute and I'll play like a little musical tune real quick. And let's see, what's the range on? Oh, it's only 10 feet, so I won't do that. Instead, what I'll do is I'll just chuckle. I'll put the flute on the table and I'll say, I'll point out the room. Is it the room I was in?
No, it's the doorway to this room. Like it's the room that it's the way that you'll exit.
Okay. It's the way that I'm gonna exit.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll set the I'll stand up and be like, well, thank you again, my lady, and for the great hospitality, and I'll put the flute on the table and say, make sure to give this to the young ones. A little gift. And on my way out, it appears I'll have to be cautious.
Yeah, sure. Good luck. I'm sure you'll be fine, but good luck.
I'll take my hat off and give a steep bow. And kind of put my hat on, kind of whimsically, put it on as I'm spinning away on on my heels and start walking out. And I'm going to purposely walk straight out of the door.
Yeah, you begin to turn and you kind of hear, shit, he's coming! And they both duck out of the way. And you just walk out the door and you put your hand on the door and you kind of take a second like, yes, I am. Your whole head and shoulders are now covered in this like weird viscous whitish cream liquid. The
Milk,
door
isn't it?
slowly, it's a little thicker than milk. It kind of like slowly opens and you see on both sides of the archway on opposite ends the two kids kind of giggling to themselves. The young one walks up and kind of like runs up to you and kind of bounces right there in the space before you and says, I got you!
Oh, you did? I was not expecting that. Yeah, totally trying to deceive him into believing that I was not expecting that.
Don't need to roll for it, he's totally enamored in this. So, where are you going?
Well, then I'll crouch down, kind of get on his same level. It's like, it appears some people need some help, much like you did. And I think I'll go help them out. Maybe I'll come back with a good story to tell you.
Okay. And he kind of like runs up and grasps your side and gives you a big hug. And as
his head.
As he does so, he kind of looks up at you, slop kind of falling down the side of his face. Hey, you know how to find us if you need us, right?
I'll wink at him. It's like, I'll keep him with me.
Okay. And he kind of pulls back and there's this fake sticking noise. It's the weird, like, toothpaste textured substance is now caking his front. And he kind of like looks up at you and then turns to his sister and a big like mischievous grin appears in his face and she, oh shit, and just turns and begins running down the corridors behind you and you kind of hear him run up, I'm gonna get you! And he just goes. Just fades.
Why, Baka? As I stand there, I'm gonna kind of be looking down at me. He's like, well, this ought to do it. Now I'll clap my hands together. And when I clap them together, I'm going to cast Prestidigitation to clean my clothes.
Yeah, instantly the substance just pops off into nothingness before you, and you are pristine as you ever are.
I kind of look at myself, it's like, all right, and then I'll go get Redkeep.
Yeah, you go ahead and retrieve the beautiful, like, maple brown colored horse who has been with you for so long. And you begin riding outwards into the main thoroughfare of the town. As you do so, you see a large wagon pulled by two horses with an older man on the front is pulling out of town. Kind of clocks you as you approach.
Yeah, I'll trot up. Whatever, I can't make it pick up on here.
Well, I am pleasantly surprised to see you up and joining.
I am too, given how potent that wine was.
Well, you should get used to that. That is commonplace where we come from. At least that brand. I must say, I am very grateful that you are coming with us on this journey.
Well, someone would definitely be mad if I didn't help those who needed it.
Yes, the lady is quite strong and stern. It does not surprise me.
I'll kind of like, when he makes that comment, I'm kind of like nod, but I'm kind of outward in kind of a different direction. Like, obviously my mind is elsewhere.
Yeah. And so you join the pack, as it were, and you go forwards as they lead you towards the edge of the forest, a little off the beaten trail, and they take you further in and in. As you go, you see the 8 or 9 o'clock sun cresting slightly above the horizon, the rays shining down and reflecting the tops of the trees in this beautiful amber light. The flowers blooming, the twisting vines and roots of the forest and undergrowth, the bushes in their vibrancy and evergreen life. It is beautiful. It is serendipitous. It is a nice morning day in the Sword Coast. As you go further in and into the forest, the leaves overhead, the canopy encompassing the sky more and more as you go. The faint visage of blue poking in between the leaves becomes ever so rarer and rarer, and is replaced with darker colors of green on the underside, the parts of the tree that are in the shade, in these beautiful like forest and emerald green colors, reflecting the dark brown of the tree bark around you. Going further and further, you are not following a path. You are off and in the wilderness now. The carriage going through like underbrush, over roots, toadstools here and there, little mushrooms, and they kind of begin to grow slightly sparser as you go. The forest is more vibrant towards Daggerford than it is in the center. Strange, odd, not common for forests. You travel further and further, and eventually something begins to eclipse your peripheral. A faint, creeping layer of this bluish-white mist. A fog is just perforating through the far reaches of the trees that you can see. At this point, the Vistani kind of stop, and he turns back to you. This is the barrier that encompasses our land. If you choose to, you may turn back now.
I'll kind of like stare at it for a moment. I'll kind of look down, kind of rubbing Redkeep's neck. So I reach into my bag and I'll pull out the other apple, and I'll feed it to him real quick while I'm patting him on his, I think it's a mane, right? Baka horses have manes, right?
Yeah.
Like that's still called a mane. As I'm scratching his mane, I'll let out a sigh, reach into my pocket, take a little bit from my flask, stuff it back in, and I'll just start trotting forward.
Yeah, you begin trotting forward. Redkeep finishes the apple and gives that weird like horse thing that they do that I still don't know the name of. And kind of, you and Redkeep have a bond, not of druidic nature or of some kind of telepathic communication, but of empathy, of trust. And he understands your feelings and you understand his. The hesitancy, the cautiousness of knowing what you're about to do. But nevertheless, you both are brave. and he carries on. And you walk inwards. As you approach the fog, it is a unique sensation. The warm glow of the sun has now left you as you go towards it. And as you do, it is almost as if the mist begins to part 5 or 10 feet ahead of you and fan outwards and encompass your sides and then slowly around your back. It almost shifts and responds to the direction that you go. And you begin...
kind of hold my hand out too while I'm going through it to kind of like touch it.
You touch it, and as your hand goes through, a faint layer just drifts underneath. It is tangible. It is real. It's cold. It's threatening in a way. This is a presence. As you walk, the Vistani behind you they are keeping pace, but even then, 10 feet behind you, they begin to become less visible. Just roll a survival check for me.
Oh, this is not Zorag. Ah. That's still not bad. Also pretty good. I got a 14 plus 2. That's a 16.
Yeah, absolutely. You in a brief second, you get just 5 feet ahead. Just a normal divergence in distance away from them. And you look back and they are completely gone. Completely. And it takes 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and they are just not coming back.
And I'd call out to them, like, hello? I'm over here.
You call out. 10 seconds go by. 20 seconds go by. 30 seconds and nothing. And then about 40 seconds in, you kind of see them coming from a different angle. From a side angle instead of behind or in front of you. Even though you didn't divert from the path. Like, you were going in a straight line, you know you were going in a straight line, and they were following, and yet now they come from the side. As the horses kind of saddle up beside yours. Please, you must stay safe. This fog is dangerous. People do get lost frequently.
Yes, I thought I was lost for a second. I waited here for over a minute.
I am not surprised. Let us stay close. And you continue onwards.
At this point, I would probably like get close to their horses, and then what I would probably do is like kind of tie, kind of like wrap Red Keep's reins kind of like onto the cart.
Yeah. So you, as Red Keep goes alongside, you kind of pull the reins back and begin looking over and tying your reins around the front section where the reins are held on the cart. And as you do so, not paying attention, you kind of hear this from underneath of the horses and then from underneath the wheels of the cart. As standing there kind of pulls back. What was that?
Yeah, I'll be looking too.
Make a perception check.
12 plus 2.
You think you
14.
hit something, and something just went underneath the cart.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna hop off. I'll kind of. What was his name? Stanimir?
Yep, Stanimir.
Stanimir. I'll look over at Stanimir and kind of. I'll check this out as I hop off a Red Keep and rub on his neck, pat him. Kind of. I'll draw out a. I'll draw my crossbow, and let me check something. I'd probably pull out it's dark. It's kind of dark where we're at.
Yeah, it's misty. You can't really see more than 5 feet ahead of you.
Are there like candles or like lanterns or whatever on this cart that I can probably grab off of?
Yeah, you can grab a lantern. That's sure.
All right. Is it lit?
Yes, it would have been lit when you're about to enter the mist.
I'll take the lantern off with load up my crossbow and kind of look out. I'll look under the cart first.
Yeah, you kind of have to hop off and walk around the horses to see as it was on the other side. Still, as you go, you have to put a hand on them to make sure that you don't lose grip of them and where you are.
Yeah.
And as you come around, you hold the lantern up and you see lying before you a humanoid figure lying on the ground just past one of the wheels of the cart. You have run over a person.
Oh, if that's the case, I'll put the lantern down. I'll stow my crossbow and I'll try to pick him up.
You go to pick him up and you see this person is larger than you by a lot.
Oh, okay. If they're larger than me by a lot, I'd probably just call for Stanimir. I ain't picking that person up.
Yeah, he comes with and kind of assists you in pulling them out from underneath at least. Okay. You see humanoid, but with a trunk, a long elephantine trunk and wide ears. The thing that you glean immediately from this, although they are lying here and did not seem to be affected by you running them over, the stomach is moving up and down. They are breathing.
Oh, so they're breathing. Do I know what this thing is?
Make a history or nature check for me.
Okay. Let's see. What's my nature? Nah, I'm going history. 14. 13 plus 1. Or no, 13 plus 2, so 15.
You know the name.
Plus 1 is my nature.
This is a Loxodon.
Oh.
They are a rarity in the Sword Coast. Very few and far between.
As I'm kind of looking at him, I'll turn to stand there. It's like, so, do you get a lot of Loxodons in this area?
I must confess, I have never seen a person like this before. Ratcat, get my smelling salts! And you hear some rummaging around in the cart itself before.
I'm gonna reach down and hold up their head, a little bit.
Yeah. The young man kind of jumps out and turns around the side of the cart, bringing over the smelling salts, and the immediacy of seeing this figure kind of stops. Is this a person?
Oh,
yes.
It's a Loxodon.
Okay. Sure. And he hands the salt over, and you kind of see Stanimir begin doing some minor magic with them. Baka, as your eyes shoot open, would you like to describe your character?
Yes, the eyes of the Loxodon shoot open. You can see they're very deep set in its head, like a dark brown. His gray skin is very leathery and cracked and covered in scars. And as he begins to stand, you can hear the jangling of all of these golden earrings on top and on the bottom of his large elephant ears. You can see there's rips in the ears where earrings probably were torn out at some point. And he continues to stand to loom over you. There's a clanking of a chain that's wrapped around his chest with a large iron ball hanging behind his shoulder, as well as a lot of different packs on his back. Standing up, you can see he's got leather straps over his chest and leather pants that are kind of torn up a little bit. And at full height, he'd be probably about 8'2", where you can see he's hunched over with years of not being able to stand up straight, and his arms reach down almost his knees. It's just these huge trunk-like appendages, as well as having an elephant's trunk, as he towers over everybody and swinging his head back and forth. You can see the two large tusks coming out from under the trunk. One of them, the right one, seems to have broken off at some point and now has an iron cap on top of it to stop it from splintering. And he's just looking down at all of you, trying to take in his surroundings, but seems to be looking for something.
Easy, big fella. You'll knock someone's eye out swinging those things around.
Where's Lauren? Who are all of you?
Please, we are humble travelers, and this is a hero who has come to aid in our defense. Please, how did you end up here?
Oh, we were sent out here by the lady. We were supposed to catch them monsters that were terrorizing the farmers, and Lauren had one, but I wasn't able to get us away from this mist. Do you know where he is? Small man. Likes to talk in big words.
Another of you here in the mist.
Hmm.
Well, we must go searching. Yes, please, join us and we will search for your friend. If he is alone, this does not bode well.
We must find him.
Yeah, you can hop on the back of the car if you wish.
He would walk, being as big as he is.
Okay, sure, yeah. You just plod alongside the horses, although I will say, they pick up a brisker pace than they were before. They are now actively searching for a person.
I mean, if it can hold me, I'd get on.
Yeah, you go ahead and grab the side of it, and it just... the other wheels are kind of off the ground by like half an inch sometimes to an inch, but it's going.
Just kind of push off the ground if it starts leaning too far. Put it back on its all wheels.
That's where we're going to leave you guys for a second.
Ooh.
Meyore, why don't you go ahead and describe your character for me?
Alrighty. So Lauren is about a 5'6" half elf, kind of narrow jaw, fine nose, short, kind of swept back blonde hair. He's got some pretty deep blue eyes. He's just kind of wearing some standard clothes. He got like a white shirt, leather or brown trousers. He's got like a browned tail vest and just some plain old leather boots. And in his hands, he's got a staff with a blue crystal kind of embedded and protruding from one end. And then he's got a fine leather book in his hands.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back to what you were doing. You have been wandering this fog for an indiscernible amount of time. You don't know when you entered. It kind of feels like it was 10 minutes ago and 10 hours ago simultaneously. Your only real indication is that the contents of your bedroll that you are holding is now completely still. You approach the road toward which you first heard the call of an animal. And it's now that you see it, no more than 15 feet away, hunched over its meal. You see a 4-foot-tall, mangy, jet black wolf. The shape of its ribs can be seen through the skin, only kind of slightly masked by the patches of matted fur that have been soaked by blood that could belong to the wolf itself or its prey. The humanoid corpse it looms over lies in a pool of this crimson liquid, the body still draining of its color, and what you can see of the face is twisted in agony. That is, before the teeth of the beast jam into the skull, pulling the skin and muscle as it stretches before snapping away from the bone, leaving the skull protruding. The wolf, suddenly aware of your presence, slowly turns to gaze at you with these piercing yellow eyes above its snout, and another brown humanoid eye dangling from an eye stem that is just caught in its teeth. As it looks at you and... Roll initiative for me.
Oh, Lordy. All right. Let's see here. So that is a 19.
Great, okay. With a 19, you go first. What would you like to do on your turn?
Okay. So he'll just be like, easy there, fella. And he is actually gonna hold his reaction to cast Burning Hands, because you said it's 15 feet away, right?
Yeah, 15 feet away.
Yeah, so if he moves any closer to me, he's gonna cast Burning Hands.
Sure. So you hold your action
Correct.
to hold Burning Hands. As it looks at you and kind of like this aggressive, low demeanor of the wolf kind of begins pacing around, sizing you up to whether you are a fit meal. As it goes, I'm going to drag him right here underneath this tree. And he's looking at you. He is within range, but before you get the spell off, he kind of gets down low, and then ooh, a like loud cry emanates from him, and you, for a brief second, don't hear anything, and then ooh, from various different places behind and around you. Go ahead and cast your spell if you want.
Ooh, okay, yeah, it got closer. Okay, so
Dex save, right?
Yeah, he needs to do a DC 14 Dex save.
He absolutely fails his Dex save.
Okay, so then that would be 9 damage, or 9 fire damage.
9 fire damage. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so 9 fire damage to it. As you send out the spell, clasping your hands together and almost twisting them in the air, you begin to see bits of the fog and mist twist with your hands and sort of circle them in this like low swirling pattern before you just unleash, and this cone of bright amber orange fire just encompasses the whole area in front of you, setting alight this tree right next to you. This one is now on fire. There you go, that's my shitty fire drawing right there.
Beautiful.
And the wolf itself kind of yips and shrieks in pain as it recoils and gets lower, trying to avoid the blast, but doesn't. So that's a reaction on your part. Its action was to call other wolves. It's now your turn again. What do you want to do?
So hearing all of those other calls, Alarin is very worried, and he's just gonna yell out, Garfantis! Garfantis! And then he's gonna cast Mage Armor on himself.
Yeah, as you slowly back away from the still smoking wolf who's growling at you, you just, nope. And this bright light of mage armor just begins to circle your body. What does your mage armor look like?
So yeah, it would actually be kind of a dark bluish, almost like violet, just kind of like shimmering. It's like, it's still definitely see-through, but it's like you can kind of see it. It's like there, but it's not there, kind of. So yeah.
You summon it. And the curious thing is, as you look at it, it's still got that familiar visage, but now it's kind of flickering this jet black with like these almost skeletal undertones to it. Something is altering the appearance of your spell.
Ooh.
Following that.
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just be a little alarmed by that, and I mean, so obviously this thing still at least kind of looks like a wolf.
You with your vast knowledge of zoology get this is not your regular wolf. This is bigger, this is scarier, this is a dire wolf.
Oof. In my knowledge of zoology, would a dire wolf be something that you would want to stand your ground against, or something you just kind of run from?
Go ahead and make a nature check for me.
Okay. All right, so that is 13 plus 6 is 19.
Yeah, as you are backing up, just thinking about it, the spellbook on the side of your hip just opens to a page, and without you even looking at it, you realize, okay, direwolves, large, in most circumstances, apex predators, only really challenged by things such as owlbears and larger creatures than it, which you are not. Second thing, always, always, always travel in packs. If there's one, there's at least, and you get this with your high roll, there's at least 4 more going to be around. Knowing this, you begin to compute in your head ways to exit this area, because you are definitely fucking boned if they all converge on you. One you can maybe take. More than that, not a chance.
Oh lordy. Okay, so oh wait, hold on, I'm trying to remember something because I'm so used to playing as a rogue. Is dash an action? Or is that
an action?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. So in that case, I guess how far away is this? I know there's like a tree kind of to my left. Is that like, how far away is like the trunk?
I'll say the trunk is, we'll say like right here.
Oh, sorry, the one over here.
Oh, this one? This one's probably a little off to the side because it's kind of lopsided. I'm going to put him right here.
Okay, cool. So I will back up to that tree, kind of back to the tree, kind of holding out my staff. Garfantus? And that's all I got.
Yeah, you holding out your staff as far as you possibly can with the pointed end outwards, calling around. You get the faint snapping of twigs to your left as you see a smaller one is beginning to emerge, looking dead at you. It knows that you are there.
Ooh.
Following that, Wolf's turn. This one down at the bottom is kind of not happy with the fire that it just took, and it's going to reflexively back out 15 feet and just kind of eyeing you there and begins barking and growling at your general direction. This one, not too phased because the fire is not directly in between you and it, so it's going to run up and it's going to attack you, baby.
Ooh.
It's going to do just its one regular bite attack, which is I rolled really well. That's a 19 to hit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you take, oh shitty. You take 5 points of piercing damage as the wolf, still prowling around, like this one also doing the same thing, just all of a sudden, from a sideways position, just breaks and snaps straight in a beeline towards you, jumping at the last minute and gnashing its jaws into your arm, into the top of your forearm, just barely the teeth poking through the protective barrier of Mage Arm, and it begins to pull you down. Make a strength saving throw for me.
Okay. Oh, nat one.
That one, you are knocked prone as the wolf, and this is a regular wolf, has its jaws low to the ground and is trying to pull you back into the road from your arm as it drags you along the soot and mud that is emanating from the tree next to you. Rough. Following that, because you rolled a 19, you begin to hear something else. This heavy and quick coming of horse hooves as they emerge kind of along the road itself. Where's my thingy? Down here. And on the back of it, curiously enough, dangling from the side, you see a large elephant man. And on the other side, a, well-dressed, beret-hatted man looking around to see if there's anyone else. Gar and Malin, go ahead and roll initiative for me.
I'll leave him to his death.
As you come into the fight.
Gar rolled a 16.
16, that puts you before the wolves.
So 7 plus 4.
That puts you behind the wolves.
Yeah.
Very good. So the
I
carriage
got
will
like a
move-
high initiative and I roll a 7.
The carriage will move on initiative 20, which it just did. And following that, Alarin, it's your go. Gar, you actually see Alarin was being dragged out into the road by this wolf, but now at the sound of that, still with his arm clenched in its mouth, it's now moving out this way instead. But Alarin, it's your go.
All right. Shoot. So I guess I'll try to break free of this thing's grip.
Yeah, make a, let's go with athletics or acrobatics check to see if you can wriggle your way out.
All right, let's definitely do acrobatics. That is a 18.
18. Oh, it rolled an 18 on the die, +1.
Oh no!
Using my good die today, huh? Yeah, you try and wrestle your arm out, and like a dog with a chew toy, it just shakes its head violently. You feel the vertebrae in your shoulder begin to like stretch and shake to the point of you're about to dislocate your shoulder if this keeps up. Like it's about to make your whole arm go limp, and if it does, no spellcasting for you.
Ooh, okay. So I guess it still has me on the ground. Can I know I tried to break free and didn't. Am I able to like at least try to stand up with it still having me, or?
Yeah, you can use your movement to stand up as you're fighting against it. Especially with an 18, I'll allow that.
Yeah, so I'll stand up, but you know, I guess in the direction that it's got me, I know I heard the horses. I mean, I guess he would look like just turn his head and see. Would I be able to see Gar just kind of like looking
Yeah, you
around?
see Gar coasting along the side of this carriage.
Okay, perfect. It's like, Garfantis, please, now. It hurts a lot. And that's all I got.
Yeah, awesome. Following that, Gar, it's your turn. You see your friend, Alarin, fighting against this wolf who has his, like, above his elbow in its jaws and this thick trail of crimson dropping from beneath. He's in a rough spot.
Yeah, as he hears his friend calling him, he just lets go of the cart, just smashing into the ground as he lands, and loosening the chain from the iron ball around his chest. He begins to rush forward, elephant trumpeting the whole way. His eyes begin to turn red as he goes into a rage, and he's gonna smash this thing with the ball and chain.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your attack.
That is a 19 to hit.
19 definitely hits.
Ooh, max damage for a total of 14 bludgeoning. Just
14.
swings the ball upwards, connecting with this wolf.
Yeah, as you run up. How are you going to do this?
It's like as he runs forward, he brings the chain up from underneath in the uppercutting swing motion, just connecting in the chest of the wolf, lifting him off of Alarin as it lets go in its death, as its muscles loosen and it just collapses on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. As you bring the flail upwards, the giant, like 2 foot wide wrecking ball of a flail that you have connects on the underside of the wolf, and you aren't sure whether it's the force of the wrecking ball shattering its ribs in towards its heart, or the momentum in which you're doing it with its jaws latched onto Alarin, carrying the body before the head to the point where the neck just snaps and twists before the wolf gets sent maybe 10 feet off, twirling through the air and ending up in a ditch over here, just lying lifeless on the ground, its eyes agape, blood falling from its mouth, but not its own, not yet.
And as he puts his hands on the chain to get ready for anything else coming in, is get to the wagon, it'll be safe there. So he's just looking around for other incoming wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. Following that, it is the wolf's turn. You do see now there is another larger wolf beginning to come in from the north side. As well as Malin, you would get this. Another one coming in from the south side, but smaller.
Yeah, I see it.
What's your passive perception, Malin?
Enough to see it. No. Let's see. My passive perception is going to be a 12.
A 12. Good enough. The ones on the northern side of the map, they are running towards the people there. You know, the humanoids. You are off to the side, on the southern side. An easy enough target, although on a horse. The ones on the bottom side aren't making moves towards attacking. You kind of see it as they coast along and are just really eyeing the wagon. Stanimir kind of calling out to them, saying, "Get back, get back! Not when they're with us!" As they just prowl the side of the road, snarling lowly. The ones at the top, however, don't give a fuck. And this one is going to move upwards, and seeing the bigger target, Gar, it's going to attack you. For a 19 to hit.
I'm going to notice this, and as I'm looking at this, I see that one to attack, and I'll just I will use a reaction.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I'm going to, so what it will do is, like, as I look over, I snap my fingers, there's like these little sparks go in front of its face, and that will be how I do my silvery barbs.
Yeah. As smooth as ever, you just... these faint, almost like firecracker effects just appear in front of the wolf's eyes as it has to redirect its attack. At disadvantage, that misses.
And as the bonus, I'm going to give Gar the advantage on his next attack roll, ability check or saving throw, within a minute.
Yeah. As it lunges straight towards your upper thigh, Gar, the faint sparks appear and it kind of shakes its head back and is now beginning to back up, blinking its eyes rapidly. You will get an attack opportunity if you wanted it.
Yeah, I do. That's an advantage. I needed it.
Go ahead.
It probably still doesn't hit, unfortunately. Well, maybe no, it's a 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, a 10 unfortunately misses. As you swing wide, but the wolf is just too low to the point where you, in your large physical, physical physique, go and swing, and it just grazes over the top of them. You feel like you connect to a spinal bone somewhere, but it just isn't low enough to make any damage. Following that, Malin, it is your go.
Seeing him go to swing on it, the wolf goes to back away. I am going to... Oh man, I hate this spell because I don't know how to flavor this spell. I'm not good at mocking people.
Oh, okay.
Oh, vicious mockery.
Let's see. Creature you can see within range. It doesn't say it has to be a particular type of intelligence. Does it have
just has to be able to hit. That's
okay.
it.
What I'll do for the vicious mockery for the wolf to understand is I'll kind of do like a really terrible like howl while just laughing hysterically at it.
Yeah, awesome. That's a wisdom save for it.
That is a wisdom saving throw.
That's 12 plus 1 for 13.
You had to beat a 15.
Yeah. You kind of do this insulting, like, oh, and you kind of see its eyes snap straight towards you, and it's pissed.
Let's see. It's going to take 2 psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack roll before the end of its next turn.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Following your turn, Malin, the carriage moves with you on it
Yeah, because Red Keep's still attached to it, so.
Yeah, it's additional 30 feet. In doing so, forcing this this direwolf out of its space. As it goes, Gar and Alaran, you see this old man on the front say, "Please come quickly. You will be safe here. They won't attack you." And following that, Alaran, it's your turn.
Yeah, so hearing that, I'll just be like, I really wanted to take a specimen, but he'll just run up to the back and hop in the back of the wagon. I think that's less than 30 feet, right?
Yeah. Easy enough to do. You jump in the back of the wagon and the door is open and you kind of see these two young, like mid-20s people just looking out towards you and like, "Hello."
Oh, hi, my name's Alaran.
Nice to meet you. I'm Radka, and as the carriage is kind of bouncing above the dirt road,
Alaran will hold out his bloody arm.
Yeah, he goes to shake it, and you might want to get that checked.
And yeah, that's all I'll do.
Cool. That's your turn. Gar, what are you doing?
See Noir and say, well, before he goes to the wagon, he's gonna like do a big elephant trumpet to try and intimidate this wolf to back down.
Okay. You can roll intimidation using your strength if you want to, or animal handling if you want.
I'll do intimidation using my strength.
I figured you would.
It's not great though. It's an 11.
An 11. Yeah. You give your best elephant trumpet. I don't know if I can do an elephant trumpet sound.
I couldn't put enough force into it to make it sound good. No, it doesn't have the intimidation I'm looking for.
And you kind of see it just cock its head back to you. And now it's also beginning to walk around the tree, but now looking at you, and you're like, nope, not worth it.
Yeah, and run and jump on the back of the wagon, just the weight pulling it down.
Yeah, you run and jump, and Alaran, as you're holding out your hand, you feel this massive weight behind you just buck the carriage, not the horses, but the carriage up. Stanimir at the front, Malin, kind of goes up about 5 feet for a second. And the two inside end up getting kind of projected straight towards you and end up landing on top of you as you both roll towards Gar, who is blocking the exit.
Yeah. The reds begin to leave his eyes. I'm glad you're safe. Do you have that monster for the lady?
Was I able to still hang on to this? Okay.
It's in your good hand.
Okay, perfect. As far as I know, Gar, or Fantas.
Would you want that?
As the carriage goes forward, the burning tree being left in your wake, Malin, you hear Stanimir call out to you and say, "There is a fallen log ahead. Can you do something about it so we can move through?"
He's talking to me?
Yeah.
Let's see, what can I do? Oh, this will be interesting. What I'll do is I'll break away from the rest of the group. Mm-hmm. And I'll trot up to the... Let's see, what I'll do is... Actually, no, I won't break Red Keep away. What I'll do is I'll like kind of hop off Red Keep and run forward. And as I'm like sliding towards it, I want to make sure I got some good distance between me and the wagon. As I like rush up, like as I'm kind of sliding up to it, I'll kind of just like grip my hands together real tight, and just my eyes, like a little bit of like electricity will go through them as I slam my hands on the ground and cast Thunder Wave.
Yeah, let's say that the cart moves forward. It's extra 30 feet, so you have a little bit more room. As you run and do this action movie hero slide towards, rubbing your hands together and pushing them down on the ground, you see the sparks emanate from within you and crackle and embiggen and largen and stretch as the force of this electricity impacts into the tree, sending small crackling of electricity down into the puddle right here behind you. which the horses kind of bray and divert from as they go around the puddle. Go ahead and just roll straight damage for me.
Okay, what's the damage on this? It's a 2d8.
2d8.
We're the butt-to-butt pyramid. I got a 5 and a 2.
Yeah,
Seven.
as the cracking of electricity comes out from you, you don't shatter the whole of the tree. Like,
But
the
it is
log
pushed 10
itself-
foot away.
Right, the log itself takes a decent impact from it, and is left with this small smoking crater on the side, but it is almost pivoted on its top axis right here, and smashes into this other tree, so that the log is now cleared. The interesting thing was, as you diverted from the group, the wolves immediately began to run to come straight towards you, but because of the thunder wave and the loud boom that emanates 300 feet away, the deafening sound of thunder, they are for a moment distracted and recoil from the sheer volume of what you just did. You are probably safe for this turn. As the cart comes forward, do you jump back on the horses?
Yeah, if the car comes back, I'll hop back up on it, but I just moved my characters. Like, yeah, technically I'd be right here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you jump back on the horse, regaining the safety of the cart as it carries on forwards. The wolves themselves following for some time along the side of the road, glaring deep at each and every one of you. It isn't Stanimir, and it isn't Ratka or Damia. And as they go, snarling, but keeping a distance, they do not attack the carriage. And it goes and goes and goes until 6 or 7 minutes into the chase, they just drift off and vanish. All you see are those yellow, burning eyes disappear backwards to be encompassed by the fog. You have avoided a TPK. Well done.
I could have fucking killed him.
As you pull yourself together in the cart, you know what? Let's just go all the way through. No break. We'll break afterwards. Is there anything that you guys want to do as you go?
Alarin would just ask, oh wait, the other people, they're like on the front, right? It's only those two kind of younger folks in the back. Gotcha.
Yeah, the old man and the younger guy appeared to be at the front of the car, and then inside the carriage with you, there are the two siblings, yourself and
Gotcha.
Jar.
So is this kind of like more like Victorian era, like wooden type carriage situation, or like Oregon Trail wagon where I can see through the front?
It's an Oregon Trail wagon style, I guess. Yeah, it's like a barrel-topped wagon, and there are no windows out of the side. I'll say there is like a small sliding bar that you could poke through to talk to the guy in front.
You're on the Wells Fargo.
So yeah, Alarner's be like, oh, excuse me, and just stick his head out like the front to talk to the older gentleman that he heard. And did you use some sort of pheromone? What did you use to repel them?
I suppose you could say in a way there is a pheromone. It is my presence here, the person that I am. They will not attack me or my kin. So if you are with us, you are safe while in the mists.
Oh, well, never really heard of anything like that. Well, thank you. I'm Lauren. Who are you?
You are welcome. My name is Stanimir. These are my children, Ratka, and he points to the guy, and Damia. They will see to your wounds. Please rest while we must enter the gates to be safer.
Oh, well, thank you for the assist. And he'll just go back and sit in the wagon and look at Gar and thank you, Garfantis.
Of course, you do the same.
Look at Stanimir after he closes it and just be like, interesting fellow, isn't he?
Which one? I think they're both strange.
It's not very often that you see a Loxodon, and especially in this area.
I'm afraid I've never even heard of the term.
It's their species is a Loxodon. They're large elephant people, as far as I can gather. As far as where they come from, even I don't know that.
Right. Well, he seems to be capable, and I think this may benefit us all. You two in the back. The two kids kind of tend to your wounds. You both get 4 points of healing as they wrap your arm in bandages, and they kind of go to you, Gar, and they realize, oh, this guy hasn't taken any injuries at all. We'll just direct it back to the other guy. You hear the young man go, so you are the two who were monster hunting in the woods, correct?
Yes, about that. He's just gonna like try to very quickly peek in the sleeping bag and close it shut again.
Make a dexterity check for me.
Okay. Ooh, that is a 11.
11. I would have set the DC at 10, so you're okay. You open the pillowcase just ever so briefly so you can see poke your eye in there and see what's going on, and you see the small, featherless, fleshy bird-like creature glaring up at you as it jumps straight towards you, and you just close the bag, and now you hold it out, and it's just a mass of like movement and sound as you hold it out and kind of wince against the swinging beast that you have in your pillowcase.
Yep, monster hunters. That's what we are.
Do you know where you are?
No, I just wandered through the mist. We're near shit. What was that town called again?
Daggerford?
Well, we're near Daggerford, correct?
Yes, that is where we came from. Allow us to give you a history lesson. And as you go, they kind of explain to you what has happened. You've been encompassed by the mist, and the mist will not let you escape. They've picked up an adventurer, a hero, who they hope can end their Dreadlord's curse, and thus end the curse on their homeland, allowing everyone to leave should they choose to, and allowing for times to be better. As they explain this to both of you, what are your reactions?
Go ahead, Garfantis.
Well, I was gonna say it's not much because Gar's very silent. Usually, he lets Lauren do all the talking. His ears try to sway, like elephants will tend to do to cool themselves, but all the rings kind of weigh him down, so they jangle quite a bit. But he'll nod along to and listens. He listens very intently, but he doesn't respond in any way.
Yeah, Lyran, upon hearing about the not being able to leave part, just kind of mentioned well, I'm more than willing to help, but I do have a father I need to get back to. He's quite old at this point, but I wouldn't turn away someone asking for help. So, what do you say, Gar? Ventus?
If that's what you wish to do, I will as well.
Well,
if you aim to get back to your father, this is the quickest way, I assure you.
Well, I guess we're here to help then.
By the time that this conversation concludes, Malin, the cart, the carriage, comes out of the fog. The fog lifts from where you are, and looking ahead, you see terrain again, a hilly, still forested, but forest receding hilly terrain, with the road that you are on winding through and forwards, and ahead of you, lurking on the peripherals of your vision, just on the very, very outskirts, you begin to see this massive, wide gate. It's a good couple of 100 feet tall, and in front of it you see these two large statues. One of them on the left appears to have its head completely sundered and removed, although you aren't quite sure if it is from the passage of time or from something else. The cracks of age are there, though. You can see that at least. Ahead and in between these two statues lie these massive, very, very tall iron gates, somewhat rusted with time. The mist itself, being laden with water, it affects ferrous metals. Although the gates themselves are ever so faintly open. As the carriage moves, Gar, you see this too, standing on the back of the car, your eyes just ever so faintly cresting over the top of the wagon.
My mouth just kind of open in the awe of it, like slightly open, like looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other thing that you both notice, as you look towards it, you can see the sky above. And the sky outside in Daggerford, to you, Malin, was beautiful, cloudless. Sun warming your skin, emanating and feeling almost rejuvenating. It was a beautiful day. Here, you can't even see it. The layer of cloud almost completely blots it out, except for the ever so faint, barely perceptible ring of orange that you just make out behind one of the clouds. It's overcast as fuck.
So, is the weather usually like this?
I'm afraid it rarely changes. Sunlight is non-existent.
Well, how much further till we are able to at least camp or to your abode?
We will camp without people. You will see Madame Eva, and we will allow you to stay there. To do so, we will have to cross through the village of Barovia, but it will take little time.
Well, let's nod.
What were we saying, Neil?
Oh, no. Sorry, I didn't hear what you'd said over Tommy. Or Lourdes.
He's still Tommy.
Okay. So yeah, I guess Alarin also would probably want to just stick his head out the front, just see whatever Garfantis is seeing, and I guess I would see this and just, wow, quite a large gate.
Not a kind place.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess noticing the clouds as well. I guess not hearing Malin ask earlier. Always like this. No sun.
He kind of turns. Yes, it very rare. It never changes. We don't see the sun here.
How do you feed your people?
Well, hunting mostly. Crops are difficult to tend. But hunting does suffice, and our people are allowed to leave.
Okay, well, that's quite troubling. How long until we reach our destination?
We will be there within an hour or two, I imagine. It's Our valley is not particularly big. It has its problems. As you are coming up to the gate now, the gate itself slightly ajar, but not ajar enough for the wagon to fit through. Curiously enough, though, as you approach, slowly, ever so slowly, gratingly slowly, the rusted iron hinges begin to creak and open wide, and there is no one piloting them. Barovia is inviting you in. And you go through.
Well, that's not eerie at all.
Malin, at the front. As you're going through, the road continues onwards, but something weird is catching your eye, and Stanimir stops the horses almost immediately as you enter the gate as he looks at this thing. It is like a wooden stake. Like, I don't want to say 2 or 3 inches in diameter that is protruding out of the ground at a 45-degree angle in the middle of the road, facing the gate. In and of itself, not too odd to see like a large pointed wooden log. But what is curious enough is there is a corpse pierced and displayed almost on top of it. Its hands and feet bound behind it, as it's not looking at you, the head dangling back and looking up at the sky almost, or behind it. You hear Stanimir say, "This was not there when I left, and we left but a day ago."
Any idea who that might be?
"Come with me. Everyone, come with me." And he jumps off the seat that he's piloting with, and begins slowly walking towards. Every one of you, make for me a medicine check.
Medicine.
Gar, why are you?
Oh, that medicine check sucks, son.
Mine actually
7.
dirty 20.
Hey,
18.
18. So Gar and Alarin, you've seen, especially you, Gar, you've seen your fair share of corpses. You, Alarin, from more of a scientific, medicinal approach, you observe the body as you both get close to it. This corpse, he's saying it was planted here less than a day ago. This corpse, old. Much older than a day, older than a week, older than a month. It's hard to place the time, just from a mere glance. But it's old.
Like instinctively, as they got off the cart, Gar just picked up Alarin in one hand and put him on his shoulder as they walked over. As he gets closest, that's not new.
Yeah, as you are peering over the corpse, getting your faces pretty close.
Lauren
Grizz,
kind of squints.
what does your character do?
Oh, okay. Should I describe my character?
You can.
When Gar looks up, he sees a lanky figure in a tattered, high-collared black robe. His skin is sickly pale and covered in these tattoos that seem to resemble like an animal pattern, like, you know, camouflage, like a squirrel or something would have. His ears would reveal that he likely was once of elven heritage. His sunken eyes glow a bright orange as he lifts his head up and begins to look down toward you. His hair flows down his back, black at the roots, but gray toward the top. It kind of looks like an unstyled mohawk, just kind of hanging slightly. He wears these he's got these two big leather shoulder pads that kind of make his lanky figure look top heavy, with this fur cape that's like this dirty white hanging down from gravity from being up on this stake. He looks down and he says, "Come to Gok at the monster of Barovia.
Gar instinctively takes one step back so that Alarin is further away from it.
Yeah, you see his head kind of shift, but not with the force of like keeping his head there. His head just kind of shifts and dangles a little bit as he says that.
Would Alarin see kind of the elvish descent ears at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So he would very excitedly, in Elvish, be like, "Are you a full-blooded elf?"
I do not know what I am.
Oh, so he knows, he understood that. Okay, cool. Well, you look like you've been dead for quite some time. How are you speaking right? Are you some necromancer's pet?
I do not know. Are you not afraid of me?
Well, you're tissue and all that, sack of meat, but you're talking, so I shouldn't call you that. So I don't know. You're alive. That's good enough for me.
This is going on. I want to mumble to guard. Just, so is your friend always as inquisitive as this?
Well, he's excited. He's using his language. I don't know exactly what he's saying, but he likes to talk a lot, yes.
Go on. The pile of rocks are over there.
Well, why would we need rocks?
You do not wish to throw them at the monster?
Well, why would we throw rocks at you? I just met you.
And this is crazy.
Friend, you are aware that you're speaking with a corpse.
Well, hasn't everyone?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you look around and the Vistani are taken aback by this. Like they are also a couple steps away from the corpse.
Yeah, I
They
definitely
are
took some
unsure.
steps back whenever he started talking. Like,
Alarin will just be like, I find it helps me work when I'm dissecting a specimen. Well, he'll talk to the corpse again. My name's Alarin. What's yours, beastie?
Name. The people here call me many things. Some call me zombie. Others call me.
They call you
Yes. I do not care what you call me. I do not have a name.
It's so funny because as they're having this conversation, you just hear the corpse go, "Alright, bro."
Just speaking Elvish this whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we can figure that out later. Do you want us to let you down?
wait a minute, they're speaking Elvish?
Yes, sir.
Dang, I don't know Elvish. I thought I did.
You would get me down?
Well, you seem nice enough to me. Do you promise you wouldn't hurt us?
Yes.
Can I insight that?
Yeah, go ahead, roll insight.
Okay. Alright. So, nat one.
That one. You're talking to a zombie. What do you think?
Well, I don't know if I can fully trust you, but you do seem to be in quite the predicament. Let's see what we can do. And he'll look over to Gar and say, Garfantis, I think we should let him down, but let's keep his hands bound.
I can just hold him in my trunk.
At the mention of cutting him down, like the two kids kind of go, whoa, whoa, let us not do that. This is a zombie. It could eat us.
Well, I haven't had a zombie talk to me in a while. Hey, that's new for me.
You hear Damien go, not only is it a zombie, but it is sentient and talking?
What I
What if
have
it's a
heard of
lich?
something. I'm sorry.
Would you have heard of what?
Would I have heard of something like this before?
Make a history check.
All right. Hey, 19 plus 2.
Sentient
21.
undead are hard to come across. I mean, you know the obvious, which is lich.
Yeah, I
Lich
mean,
is
like,
fucking
I'm not
scary.
going to meet any of them. I just want to know if I've read about anything like this.
Yeah, you definitely know of. Sentient undead are oftentimes very powerful, right? So, and you're looking at this guy, not only is he bound and tied at the hands and feet, very loosely, and honestly, one of the hands is slipping out. He's just not, he doesn't seem like that much of a threat. So, from anything that you've heard, doesn't match what he is.
Interesting.
Well, I guess we could just vote on it. I won't be the guy who runs up and cuts his bindings. That would be crazy. Do you want us to leave him, or what do you guys think?
To be honest, this place is kind of strange, and I'd get you to ask him if he has a phylactery, but he doesn't really seem to be hostile.
What intelligence? This Stanimir kind of looks over at him. No offense, Mr. Corpse.
What? Will you help me?
Well, pal, that's kind of up to everyone else. I'm fine with helping you. Not sure what everyone else thinks. I mean, you're quite the peculiarity. Would Lauren know anything more about this thing?
You kind of come to the same conclusions that Malin does. The closest thing that you can think of is Lich, but A, he's not powerful enough, clearly, because he was impaled on a simple log, and B, I don't want to say that this guy seems dumb, but he's not talking with the level of intelligence that a Lich would, right? He seems... You don't know if it's just it's just a lack of understanding of what's around him. You don't know why. You don't know what causes it, but there's definitely something going on.
I am like your friend there. As he points down to Gar.
I don't think you're a Loxodon.
Quite different. I think you're more like me. He'll point at his ears.
Oh.
All right.
A tear goes down his eye.
You kind of hear the Vistani conversing, and the two, like Damien and Raka, are hesitant, and you kind of hear standing up on the side and say, I understand your hesitation, but Madame Eva said there would be 4 that we would find on our journey. Perhaps this is the 4th. Kind of murmuring his agreement, and he turns around. Okay, we have decided that you are someone that we are willing to try to trust.
Trust.
Yes. Do you know what trust is?
Anybody with like a high perception, you see for a second, like almost one of his veins in his near his temple, like shift a little bit, and then after like a quick, like his eyes kind of like shrivel for a second and come back, like not physically, but the irises shrink in return. Yes.
Well, I think you're fascinating. I am very happy to have you join our little crew.
Did you call him
Well, that's what he said his name was.
I like aw.
Are you sure it's just the noise people make when they see him?
Gar will lift his trunk up and wrap it around our new corpse rend and pull him off of the spike.
I want to point out here there was literally an NPC in Amoris who was called because that's all people said when they saw him. Like this is I'm having flashbacks right now. Yeah, you go out ahead and grab him underneath the like the midsection and just and you see there is a 2-inch hole in the stomach.
That's
where
not
this guy
gonna
is,
be good.
but it
for
ain't
you,
bleeding.
friend.
That's for sure.
I will be all right.
Just lower him down and set him on his feet on the ground.
I guess we can cut his feet free at least.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say off.
Yes, I was thinking he was about to say that as well.
Oh, come now. Oh, also, what is your name?
Some call me Zombie.
Oh, well, you told me that. I was talking to the fellow over there with the hat.
Oh, I'm Malin, as I kind of get my hat and kind of bow a little.
Malin. Alarin will kind of tip his head and also gesture towards Garfantis, who he's sitting on. Alarin, Garfantis.
Pleasure to meet you both.
Yes.
I'm just like looking at Gar, like inquisitively. Holy shit! I've heard about people, but I've never met a Loxodon before.
Look at the zombie, not me. He doesn't actually say that.
Can you, if you don't unbind me, can you take that for me? And he points, kind of nudges toward this like long staff that just like the size of him with this like crescent moon shape at the top.
Ooh, seeing that, Alarin's gonna jump off Gar and go check it out. Oh, what a nice staff. Hold it up.
It is made of wood.
Oh, yeah, I see. Could he tell what kind of wood it is?
Let's make a nature check.
24.
Cool.
You?
You? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's a nice you.
You know you?
Yes, I know you now.
Oh.
Alarin will chuckle to himself.
And first,
I guess.
You looking for me?
Was I looking for you? No, I didn't even think I'd meet you.
You.
Oh, was I looking for you, the wood?
No.
So Alarin, just excited, especially seeing the gigantic hole in this guy's chest, is just very excited at the prospect, and he's just gonna try to is your staff, Grizz, does it kind of have like a sharp, like the crescent part, is it like kind of a sharpish end, or is it like soft, like smooth?
It's probably not super like refined. It's kind of janky. So
Gotcha. So he'll just lean that on your chest and he'll take his own staff and try to slam down and cut the bindings if he can with the crystal at the end.
Easy enough to do. Yeah. You pull your own stuff and...
My hand ones?
Oh, sorry. I thought they were all behind you. Like I went for
gotcha.
Yeah. So from behind, I tried to get your hand bindings and the feet.
Yeah. So you're letting me loose?
Yeah.
Okay. I just
wants to see what happens.
Slowly stand up in this creepy kind of fashion.
How tall is he?
Now that you see him standing his full height, he's like 6'6".
Oh, wow. Got a whole head over. Well, do you want to come with us?
Yes. Are you a pack?
I guess you could say that.
May I join?
Yeah. Just give us your best growl.
Malin super confused by all of this.
Yeah, I think that's good enough. You'll be a great member of the pack.
It's amusing to you, Malin, being in a position where you are constantly the talker. You are always the person putting on a show, the person that people gravitate towards, the people that people love to hear you. And it's so strange to see this weird, nerdy little elf talk to the corpse and talk to Stanaher and talk to everyone else, and he's just going and going, and you're like, what? Not only that, this corpse is talking back. It's fucking weird, dude.
You must not be from Barovia if you do not fear me.
Well, we're new here.
I'm pretty sure talking corpse most people would fear. What was your name again? As I point at the living elf.
Zombie.
Oh, it was Ilaran Harding, and his name is
Oh,
I really feel like we could probably give him a better name than I'm so confused by what's going on right now.
Would you like to be bestowed a name? Or are you happy with
Do I need name?
I think everybody has a name, no?
I have one.
I do as well.
Your parent zombies not give you a name.
There's no name.
My name is Gar.
My name is Gar.
Oh, that's a coincidence.
Oh,
We're both called Gar. My full name is Garfontis Pachydermine.
It's a wonderful name.
You are not from here.
No.
How do you get here?
Well, there was some mist, and now we're here.
You went through mist?
Oh, you tried not to.
Yes, I was about to mention that I think that I was probably the only one besides the Vistani host here that was literally trying to come here.
I hear
Yes.
mist. Deadly monsters.
Well, we did run into some nasty wolves, but not quite monsters.
Well, I'm very glad we're having this union, as it were. Please, if everyone would like to jump on the back of the wagon. Someone is waiting for you.
Yes, this Miss Ava. Did I say your name correctly?
Yes, Madame Ava.
Madam Ava. Madam Ava.
Well, I assume your legs still work. Yes?
He starts to lift one up slowly and yes.
So fascinating. All right, well, come back to the car with us.
Yes, please jump in the back. We are going to be traveling through Barovia, and I don't think they will take well to the monster of Barovia.
Is that what your name is? Monster of Barovia.
Oh, well, I mean, we can call him Mob for short.
Lauren will kind of look to the Vistani leader, and do you guys have a particular language that you speak here?
It's mostly just common.
Okay.
The Barovia is... There are mostly humans here, so they may react strongly to Gar and R. So if the two of you would please like to hop in the back of the carriage.
I can hold on to the back. I don't know if I'll fit. I'll try if you'd like.
You may stand in the open if you wish, but you will probably get a few looks.
People look at me everywhere I go.
I'm sorry. Well, and he sort of like hops back onto the driver's seat and just kind of ends up looking around in the air, waiting for everyone to get on, but not trying to push it too much. There's a degree of uncertainty of a corpse coming in the back of the wagon with his children, but he's rolling with it.
Small humans.
I forgot to mention how tall Malin was. He's 6'1". Forgot to mention that.
Nice. I am the nerdy little elf. Yeah, Lauren will sit right across from and he's like tapping him on the knee and stuff. Like, do you feel that? Like trying to go full physical on this guy.
Yeah, full doctor.
I feel that, right? I think I would, right? Because I got.
In certain places, you feel it.
Yeah.
Where are these fights?
I am going to like you, and he'll just keep taking notes for the ride.
Yeah, as you begin to ride towards your destination, you begin to see a lowly and somber village approach as the road goes on and you get closer. It's quite houses of dank architecture of stone and dark wood that reflect the atmosphere of the denizens within. You will approach the village of Barovia next session, but for now, that's where we're going to end tonight's session. So, as the pack, I guess is what we're calling you for now.
The pack
walks towards Barovia. That's where we're going to end. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you for coming out. We appreciate it. Let's keep making stories together, and I suppose we'll see you next time. What's coming after this? Who knows? Bye.